All right, continuing on with my Twitter Ask Me Anything thread here. So the next one is Michael Levan says, what were the two biggest mistakes you made in the beginning of starting your own business? Well, the first one was not really anticipating the financial and truthfully the emotional roller coaster that comes with working for yourself. Whenever I first started, I um, thankfully had some side projects and some contacts already and then I had a buffer saved up for a while, but it really didn't emotionally, I guess, and financially prepare me for, those months where you're like, I made all this money, and then the next month you make nothing, and then the next month you make a little bit, and then the next month maybe you make a lot. It's all over the place, especially if you don't have a solid strategy in place for like long-term passive income or um, something like that. If you're a freelancer having to deal with clients, you never know. I mean, it's kind of all over the place, and also lack of diversification. When I first started, I was doing some content creation. I had some Pluralsight courses out there, but I really don't think I diversified enough because there was times when, a high-paying client would just go off the face of the earth, and you never hear from them again, and you don't know anything about it, and you don't have another good other source of income to eat. That's one big mistake. The second biggest mistake is probably it didn't happen at first. I think this can kind of come from, it depends on what kind of personality you have, but I'm a big introvert, and I really don't need a lot of human connection to be happy. I really derive a lot of happiness from my internal fulfillment and doing work and all that sort of stuff. But after time, honestly, it really hurts. It not necessarily hurt, but you do get a little bit lonely sometimes. That does happen. But fortunately, you can always take care of that by building a team. That was another mistake. I made lots of mistakes. Another mistake was just not building a team faster. Now, like, I couldn't have done that to some degree because building a team does require money. But sometimes people will help you out for free if you're doing good things for the community, doing things for other people. People will help you out for free, which is great. So those are two big mistakes. He had another question. What are the two best tips you give to a new freelancer? Well, don't do what I did at first. To give a new freelancer, always have your buffer up. Your buffer needs to stay there regardless. Your financial buffer. You need to have, in my opinion, you need to have at least 6 months of savings to sustain yourself and your family. At that point, you want to think about the worst case scenario. If all of a sudden my income sources dried up next month, can I go for 6 months and be completely fine? Be able to, you may not be able to take the greatest vacations in the world, but can I still pay my bills? Can I still feed my family? All that good stuff. 6 months buffer, as much as you possibly can. Now there's some exceptions to that, but for the most part, I always try to say at least can I get a 6 month buffer up there. Next good tip for a new freelancer would probably be income diversification. That's another one I just mentioned about the mistakes that I made. I do a fairly good job of this because I've really focused on diversification for a long time, but I know that's one thing. Like, if you're really excited to quit your job, like I just want to get started immediately. You don't really want to put all your eggs in one basket typically. So that's another good thing. And second, just as far as a tip, the mindset thing is really tough. I mean, I think you get over that eventually. It's just the routine shift. You don't realize how different a job is from being on your own. You go from having everything essentially directed to you. Your boss comes in, your manager says, we need to do this. Well, you say, well, he doesn't tell me what to do. I decide what to do. Well, he decides the vision, the strategy. He gives down the all that to you, the higher level stuff, even if you're a senior engineer. if you're on your own, you have to essentially do two jobs. You have to, number one, keep yourself busy, define your vision, define the strategy, define, everything, work for yourself, and then do the work. Or then you figure out how to make the money to pay the other people. And at that point, you become a manager yourself. So, I mean, it's a big, it's a significant undertaking, especially when building a business. Now, a freelancer, that's a little bit different. It's a little bit easier because you're not going to be a quote unquote entrepreneur at that point if you're not building an actual business around that. It's a little bit easier. I started out as a freelancer, then I got more into building a business and an asset for myself and for my team. So there you go. So hopefully that's some good tips for you.